Welcome back to Main Street Living. Quincy, Danielle, got to ask you guys a question. When you're hungry and you really want a good meal, what do you like to eat?
Pasta.
Whatever's available.
Of course you would say that, Quincy. Pasta's good though, Danielle.
Yeah.
Cheryl and Danielle, we're actually in the presence of a passionate butcher. That's right. Mr. Rod McConnell, a.k.a. Mr. Sizzle, he's actually here to provide some grilling options for cuts of meat that people tend to eat, but also other people ignore. Welcome to the show there, Rod. How are you doing?
Thank you, sir. Fantastic.
Good.
And I'm like you, whatever you can eat, bring it on.
Right. Yeah. I go after whatever's available, and then I pay the price later. That's why I have Tom's on hand, right? But what are the types of meats that we've been ignoring? Because I know that's
people know a lot about meat because of the internet these days. But like flank steak, flank steak's a big one. Flanken style short ribs, I'm sure people have heard about, and also skirt steak. So all items people have heard about or read about online, but I'm not sure they've taken advantage of how good and how easy that product can be to utilize.
Absolutely. Now, why did you select like this type of meat in particular?
I'll be honest with you. I chose that kind of meat because that's what I do. My family, it's all about family these days, and the family meals, you do it every day now because you're always home with your family. And so you got to be creative. And these kind of meals, when I talk about what items you need to prepare them, you can use these 3 items with a little seasoning, some barbecue sauce, and you can have 12 or 13, 15 different meals if you just change it up just a little bit with a little seasoning, a little garlic, things like that. So it's what my family does. That's why.
Absolutely. And, number one, you're a plethora of energy. Now, can you tell me what type of energy that you need in the food, things that are in the pantry, those things that we need to make that food pop?
It's energy is the love for the food, right? It's what's in front of you and how good you can make it for your family. Well, for me, it's how I serve my customers and how I can advise them how to best have their family meal to thrive and survive in this time. But anyway, you need all-purpose seasoning in your pantry. You need a barbecue sauce in your pantry, and you need a teriyaki glaze in your pantry. Just those 3 items, and we can go to town. We can have a lot of fun.
All right. Now, I like fun. Now, how would a person like me cook a flank steak?
Okay, a flank steak. Now, flank steak's out of the abdominal of the cow, right? So it's heavily used, so it's a very dense. I don't think that's a scientific word in cow industry, but it's a dense piece of meat. You got to learn how to cook it. But once you learn how to cook it, high heat, real hot, and you cook it to medium rare. And once you cook it to medium rare, you cut it against the grain. And once you learn how to do it, you can marinate it. You can slather it later in the process. It's just a great flavored piece of meat. My family, number one for us.
Oh, yeah. Now let's talk real quick about short ribs. Like, how do you prepare short ribs? Because I know my family.
The short ribs come in a plate. So it's got 3 ribs in this plate, right? Big old plate of short ribs. Well, so the flank style, you cut it across the ribs, so you get this piece of meat, right? About like this. It's got the little 3 nubs of ribs, about a 1/2 inch cut. Well, so what you can do with that, you can just take your all-purpose seasoning. My company has a great one, Midwestern Meats. You just season it on, you can grill it. Or you take that teriyaki glaze, add a little soy, add a little garlic. You can marinate in there all night. You marinate that, get your little kind of your own Korean style barbecue. And then when you're eating that short rib, eat that nub around that little bone. Woo-hoo! As good as it gets, brother. I'm telling you, as good as it gets.
Hey, Rod, all I know is that, Cheryl and Danielle, they don't really eat meat like I do, but I feel like they may change because your energy is just, it's very intense. Now,
you don't have to, when you sit down, you don't have to eat a lot of meat, right? You just eat a little 4 ounces and it's so good, but it's just so good for you.
Absolutely. How can people find out a little bit more about you and to get to know the Mr. Sizzle?
Mr. Sizzle can be reached at MidwesternMeats.com. My email is MidwesternMeats.com. My email is info@MidwesternMeats.com. I got recipes. I've got advice. Fun. This is all fun, especially in this time, right? You with me? Gotta have fun with the family.
Absolutely. Look, I am sold, and I'm about to go out there and try to cook me some flank steak right now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being
If it doesn't work, call me. Thank you, guys.